I'm Raymond Taylor, and I'm going to show you how to build a coaching business from scratch. Guys, this gets spoken about a lot online, but I want to take the time to give my piece on it. And it's going to sound a bit cheesy and a bit trite and a bit like that motivational speaker that's a little bit cringe, but I want you to hear it and actually listen and really try and absorb what I'm about to say. Because what I'm about to say isn't new, and you've probably read it in a book and you've probably heard it in a podcast and you've probably, seen it somewhere. Have you really allowed yourself to embody this and allow yourself to go through that process? And what I'm talking about is limiting beliefs. The basic, raw introduction to coaching stuff. The stuff that people almost overlook because it seems so simple. Or maybe they just dismiss it because it feels so uncomfortable to apply it to themselves. But beliefs, there's many types of beliefs. They come from our culture, our society, our parents, and all the information around us from when we're growing up shapes our perspective of how the world works. It's as simple as that. If your dad tells you you've got to be a strong, hard man, and guess what? You're going to think you have to grow up to be a strong, hard man. Or if you're not a strong, hard man, you're going to feel like a bit of a weak man because you're not what your dad thought you should be. It's obvious. You see it all the time. Oh, what job do you do? I'm an engineer. What did your dad do? He was an engineer as well. Oh, I wonder why you wanted to be an engineer. So we pick up information and we use it to create our own internal map of what the world looks like and who we are and how we sit in it. But are those limiting beliefs serving you? Because those are the two main types I want to discuss today. Limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the ones that limit you. And these are the ones that I can hear people talking every day, all the time. I heard one very, very talented videographer that has 50,000 followers say that she couldn't create a course because she has to be featured in the National Geographic before she has the right to be able to do it.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I mean, that's another one. That's more like lack of self-belief. But you get a lot of people that thinks, for example, online business is a scam. Because maybe one time, 20 years ago, someone did get scammed, or maybe even recently they got scammed. I'm not saying online scams don't exist, of course they do. Then they do another thing, which is called generalization, which we learn about in NLP, which is they generalize one piece of information or one limiting belief, and they generalize it around every scenario. So say, for example, you have a situation where a scam happens online that you know about. Well, you create a limiting belief that there is the potential of online businesses being scams, and then you generalize it by applying that belief to everything, because it's an easy way for our brain to, digest information. Otherwise, our brain would be going into overdrive all the time if we had to microanalyze everything that goes on. So there's a process called generalization that generalizes the beliefs that we have. So if you believe that online business is a scam, you believe all online business is a scam. But that's going to create a limiting belief, because that's going to stop you from ever creating an online business. For example, I mean, that's a one I shouldn't have used, because obviously that looks like I'm trying to say, okay, now create an online business, but it could be with everything. At school, might have said, oh, you're not very good at maths. Or maybe you distorted that. That's another bit of programming that happens as well. Sometimes we can hear information differently than how it's actually being delivered. A teacher might say something along the lines of, you did really well, but you only got an 8 out of 10. But if you have a limiting belief that you're stupid or not good enough for whatever reason, maybe that's come from an argument at home, maybe that's come from a previous experience, you start to distort the information to fall in line with your own belief system. And it makes sense, right? Otherwise our brain would implode if we started to absorb other people's limiting belief systems. Imagine if you was walking down the road and taking on that person's belief system and that person's belief system and different religions and different cultures and different societies, your brain would explode. So what happens is once you have a limiting belief, I'm stupid, for example, your brain can literally distort information to fall in line with that belief to make it more comprehensible for you to understand and make it less difficult to process. So your teacher might say, you only got an 8 out of 10, but you could actually hear a different tone, different words, and that might seem bizarre to you, but I've actually sat down with people on coaching sessions. They said, oh, my mum, she sent me this message, it was so rude, it was so offensive, she really put me down. And I said, read it to me. And I promise you now, there was not a single word in that message that was in any way rude. If anything, it was the opposite, it was supportive. But if you have this belief, then you're in real trouble, because everything around you you're gonna think that way. If you think guys, and they're gonna like cheat on you, then that's probably what you're never gonna allow yourself to get into a relationship and fall in love. If you have a belief that you're not good enough to get a better job, then you're gonna stay in the job that you're in for the rest of your life, because what's the point in trying? So we wanna swap these limiting beliefs for empowering beliefs. Empowering beliefs that are gonna serve us. Ones that are actually gonna motivate us to actually go after the things we want in our life, because we can program it in the same way. It's so simple. You think how easily they're created. You know, if your mum, when you were 8 years old, went, "You stupid little child," and it hit you right in the heart, you create a limiting belief with one sentence. Now, I'm not joking when I can say that you can create new beliefs with as little as one sentence again. As cheesy as it might be, you can go in the mirror and you can say, "You're smart," but you gotta say it with conviction. You gotta believe it, you gotta feel it. Don't just do it for the sake of it, for a tick box. Look in the mirror right in your eyes and say, "You are really, really clever," and feel into that. That's one way of breaking down a limiting belief. And do you know what? There are hundreds of ways of breaking down a limiting belief. But the first question I'd ask you is, who gave you that limiting belief? Where did it come from? And once you realize where it came from, maybe it was your mum, maybe it was your dad, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a kid in school, ask yourself, is it serving you? Do you want that belief to hold you back? And is it fact? Is it factual? Because a lot of people believe that limiting beliefs are facts. That's the problem. That's why it's so undeniable in their mind. It's like, I'm stupid, I'm never be able to do that, no way. Because in their mind it's a fact, but a belief is simply a strongly held opinion. But is there actually factual evidence to support it? For example, I thought I was stupid. I was convinced I was stupid for so many years. Turns out, humble brag, I'm actually pretty clever. But because I had that belief I was stupid, I just kept on falling into the same cycle of believing it. You have to break away from that. So fucking tell yourself in the mirror, you're smart. Ask yourself where it came from. Ask yourself, is that serving me? Am I ready to release that? Because once you've got clarity on where it comes from, you've got clarity to make decisions, right? Am I going to allow this to get in my way? Because if it's just a fact in your mind, there's nothing you can do about it. It's an automatic program that kicks in that will dictate your decisions and your actions and the outcome and the results in your life. But if you can sit there and someone says, "I've got this online business opportunity for you," and you can go, "What's coming up is that this is a scam." Where does that come from? Well, I guess it was because my friend was scammed 12 years ago on that weird website that she'd signed up for. Is it all businesses, online businesses are a scam, or is it just that one, you know? I guess Netflix is an online business. I mean, that one's not a scam. I guess there's probably lots of businesses that are online that aren't scams. Okay. Is it serving me to dismiss an opportunity due to something that happened so long ago? Is it entirely correct that all online businesses are a scam? No. Do you know what? I'm going to make a decision to either be open and receptive to receiving new information that might form a new belief, or I'm going to decide right now to create an empowering belief that's going to serve me. And that is, I'm going to give online business a try and find out for myself. That's a decision I've made and a new belief that I'm forming as of today. Now you've got clarity. With clarity, you get choice. With choice, you've got power to decide what path you move in. Closer towards what you want or further away from what you want. It's as simple as that. But if it's happening on autopilot, you are not in control. So guys, I'm trying to keep these videos short. I could talk about this for hours. There's a couple of little tips in there. I hope it was helpful. Think about what those limiting beliefs are. Challenge them. See if they're real. Ask if they're serving you. Decide to make a new decision. You've got choice to change that to an empowering belief that's going to move you closer to the things you want from life, rather than automatically finding yourself in a situation where you have nothing that you actually want. Coaching's powerful. Limiting beliefs is just the tip of the iceberg. Start breaking them down, baby. Get yourself in the mirror and tell yourself everything that you are. Smart, beautiful, powerful, worthy. And see how much your life changes and how quickly. Smash it.
I'm Raymond Taylor, and I'm going to show you how to build a coaching business from scratch.